Hello everyone, welcome back to this yet another lecture on ecosystem and biodiversity. Friends, today we are going to discuss about an important concept with regards to ecosystem and biodiversity. So you might be thinking about the idea that we have been talking since few lectures about ecosystem, about biodiversities with regards to understanding what is the actual concept of ecosystem. Also, we had looked forward for the idea about how to mention something about this ecosystem with the help of values of diversity. That means we have seen what is the value of our biodiversity when we calculate it from the commercial point of view and non-commercial point of view. Now, these diversities are basically being called or studied on the basis of three forms on these bases are further called as genetic, species and community, which help us to understand which is one of the important factor with regards to the country, that is economy. Today we are going to see how does these diversities, that means whatever we have studied regarding the values of diversity, maybe it is of use, of no use, or maybe it is of consumative use or productive use, ethical use, aesthetic use. Our point today will be to understand something about what happens if the diversity is being lost. Because on these assessment points only, we will be able to take forward our next point, that is with regards to study of threats and hotspots with regard to biodiversity. So one must be very clear with the idea regarding the loss of diversities or regarding the loss of biodiversities. So let's start by understanding the concept of what do you mean by biodiversity loss, or it is also called as loss of biodiversity. So it is nothing else but a complete extension of the species. Now what do you mean by extension is complete loss of the species, and these species can be varied. That means these can be animals, these can be plants, these can be organisms also. Now these can be a bacterial form or fungal form also. So it does not matter for us that which kind of organism we are trying to study, but the matter of importance is what kind of organism is getting extinct. Reason is because this extent itself will help us to study how the hotspots are created in our further lectures. So, biodiversity loss itself means there is a complete removal of a complete family. So, the complete family in itself means a complete species. That means, for example, you can go with the one-horned rhinoceros. So, one-horned rhinoceros, which is one of the rarest kind of the wild animal, was in amount of plenty. But what we see today, with regards to the country like India, which where the rhinoceros being found, especially in the areas of Assam, you find that these rhinoceros have been extinct now. That means the species is completely lost. And this loss is called as loss of biodiversity, because one on the point is important that each and every organism has its own role. That means maybe it is an herbivorous, maybe it is a carnivorous or omnivorous. Every organism has its own role in the cycle of food chain, and henceforth any loss of plant or organism, animal will be in turn a hazardous point for the ecosystem. It also includes, that means loss of biodiversities also include that there can be a reduction from the local areas. Like I have given an example right now about the one-horned rhinoceros. So you can say that it is the example of local reduction also. Reason is because in some countries today also you can find one-horned rhinoceros, but it is one of the rare form. On the other hand, when we talk something about this kind of species at particular level, that is of region of India, it is local. But if you want to go for the global reduction, that means if you want to find out the study something regarding the extension of species from the complete globe itself, we can go with the example of dinosaur. So it is one of the global reduction of organism. It depends upon basically the factor whether the loss, that means we study the loss of biodiversities on the factor that whether it is a reversible form or whether it is an irreversible form. Now what do you mean by that? That means whether the extent of organism or whether the removal of organism from that particular region or from that particular factor of environment is temporary or it has taken place at a permanent causes. For example, like I've given, the dinosaur is one of the permanent loss of the global phenomena. On the other hand, maybe in some other countries, if the one-horned rhinoceros is being present right now also and it has been rare form and if conserved properly, then it can also be one of the form which will again regrow. That means which will again come back into the ecosystem or ecosystem life. So it is one of the important factor to study on the basis of whether it is one of the temporary loss or whether it is a permanent loss. So if it becomes a permanent loss, we will call it as a global extinction, right? So I've just said it right now that it is global loss. So it is one of the major loss when we something called about a global loss. Reason is because a complete species is lost from the entire globe and you cannot hardly rare these species then after. So when you cannot rare these species, you cannot protect the species, it becomes completely extinct and henceforth it becomes a history for the study. Now, when it is something with regards to the regional changes also. Okay, so one might think that global change is a very major or dramatic kind of a factor. So globally the animal or the species, maybe it is a plant or animal or organism, any kind of organism should not extend. So one might think so. But have you ever thought about the idea that regional change can even though be seem to be a minor factor, yet it is one of the major factor. A reason is very simple. Just think about the food chain we had discussed in the last few lectures. So we have discussed an important factor that producers are the primary factor of food chain. If these producers are then consumed by the primary consumers, then by the secondary consumers, then by tertiary consumer, then by quaternary consumers, and then by the decomposers, that is the reducers. But think about it that if for instance, it's just an example, you can think about it, that if for instance one kind of species is being completely lost, for example a species of rabbit or for that case deer is completely lost from the globe, okay, or from that particular region area, we just talk about the region area, and you can find that if the particular kind of species which is herbivorous, that means grass eating, which have their food product as a green grass, the species is lost in particular one region area, what will happen? The consequences will in turn be there on the production of the food chain, or there will be a disturbance in the food chain or food web. Now how? I will just try to make it understand. Like I said, consider that the species of a deer is being lost from one single region. Okay. Now you can find that the another species is there. I do agree with it. That is herbivorous in nature. But what is more important is the species, that is deer, was having an important role in consuming a typical kind of the herbivorous plant. That means the producers which were consumed, the plants which were consumed by these deers was typical in nature, because every herbivorous animal do not eat each and every plant. So that is also a typicality of the primary consumers, that is the herbivorous animal. So if the species of the deer is being lost, you can find that the plantation, that means the plants which were consumed by the deer, grow in a vast amount. Okay, and on the contrary, the plants which are opposite to that of which were not consumed by the deer, of course will be consumed by any other kind of herbivorous animal, for example rabbit, or for example maybe a grasshopper, any insect. So that will continue, but there will be now a dense population of the single kind of crop plant, and it will eliminate or it will prohibit the growth of another kind of plant for the another kind of animals. Now here the disturbance of the food chain starts. That means you can find a small problem in a food chain, that means a small loss in a single particular region of an animal completely gives you a huge loss in the food chain. So this can be said that even though it will be a global or maybe it can be a regional loss, the loss is always a major when considered from the point of view of food chain or food web. Now, this overall reduction of ecosystem, when it takes place, you can just identify it with the help of example, or just can identify simply by keeping in mind that it is ecological diversity is always balanced. That means it is always calculated on the basis of how much amount of species are present in that particular region or particular ecosystem. Maybe we can call it as habitat for that case, and loss of that particular species from the habitat. So if you remember, in the past lecture we have just talked about something of alpha, beta and gamma. That means we were talking something about the area of how to study the areas, that is alpha, then beta and then gamma. So we were talking something about, when we were talking about alpha, we were talking about the study of the species in a one particular region. So similarly goes with ecological diversity. Ecological diversity gives you the study of this particular region, how many species are being present over there, how many varieties of species are present over there, and how many species are lost over there. So these loss can be calculated on the basis of permanent and temporary loss, like I have said in the earlier slide also. This loss of biodiversity particularly is can be reduced also. So if this particular loss is to be controlled, you have to take measures for it, and of course if not taken, that means if these measures are not taken, it will directly or indirectly affect on the human resources also. That means the food services of the human will be in danger. So reason is because the food chain gets disturbed when you have a single organism in the food chain completely on an extension point. So when it is being talked about the loss of diversities or loss of biodiversity, it is important to know how the studies have claimed and what are the exact numbers which are being put forward by the environmentalist in front of us, so that it becomes easy for us to understand what cost the human have created a blunder in the ecosystem. The current rate of the diversity, what has been calculated by the studies of a group of scientists, is estimated that 100 to 1000 times it is higher than the natural occurring systems of extinction. Now, what does it mean? That means humans have created problems, and extinction is about what we think more than that. That means it is about 100 to 1000 times more than what we consider. So even though it seems for us like it is a small piece of world which is getting extinct, or maybe one animal getting extinct, for example one horned rhinoceros, but actually seeing forward, we can see that this complete organism, that means it was one of the herbivorous animal, and this complete organism has given a loss of food chain. That means it is a disturbed food chain now, and one cannot count it. Reason is because it is 100 to 1000 times of loss. So this species is basically measured on the basis of the richness, okay, evenness, richness and heterogeneity. So like we have studied something about the alpha, beta and gamma, that means a comparative study. For that case, over here when we are going to count something about the loss rate of this particular region, one particular region, for example take one particular region, and if you want to find out how much of loss is being there of particular organism, okay. So like we have said something about the alpha, beta and gamma when we were talking about the community ecosystem, or community diversity. That means we were talking about the comparative study of in a form of two regions by beta form, and we were studying about the gamma form, that means a whole environment study and how much amount of the species are being present in that particular region in a consolidated form. But now when we are talking something about, when we want to study something about the loss rate, we have to look forward that when we are taking single particular region, okay, let's go with a single particular region, then you have to count the richness of that region. Now what do you mean by richness, evenness and heterogeneity? It means very simple form that how much amount of or what number of organism particular species of organism is present, that will be called as richness. So if it is more in amount in that particular area and it is fruitfully growing over there, let's consider for a single kind of a plant, if it is fruitfully growing over there, it will be called as a richness of that particular region. Now evenness means what amount is being distributed over there. So if you go with particular plant species, for example, how much amount of that particular plant species is evenly distributed in other regions also. So that is called as an evenness. And heterogeneity means what variations do you find in particular region when we are going to study a particular region called as A. Okay, so this particular heterogeneity will give you how much of amount of diversity is there, because like we have discussed, more amount of diversity, more the amount of chances of species will be there to live. So you have to diversify, that means you have to adapt. So diversification, how does diversification comes? By adaptation. So that is a very simple law of a nature, that if you adapt to a particular environment, if you get adapted to a particular condition, you are able to survive in that particular condition. So that is called as a diversity form. Now one should also consider when we are talking something about these factors, that means loss of diversity factors. So it is very important to know that these diversity factors have an important some major and some minor stresses. Now what do you mean by major and minor stresses is, you have to look forward at what habitat, at what are the points which are making particular organism, maybe plant, animal or any kind of insect, maybe bacteria and fungal also, to get extinct. So there are some factors which are helping them to get lost. So we can say they are helping them, or maybe because of these situations the complete extinction of organism has taken place. So the first factor we can talk about is the habitat loss and degradation. Now what do you mean by habitat loss and degradation? So let's go with a simple example, like we have given an example of dinosaurs. So if you remember how, or if you have studied something about the dinosaurs, one can easily tell that extinction of these dinosaurs took place because of they lost the habitat. That means they were not able to change themselves according to the habitat. So consider, for example, you are moving from one place to another place. Okay, maybe this can be something related to regarding education, maybe job, etc. But if you do not get habitual to it, that means if you do not get acquainted to it, if you are not getting adjusted to your environment, you will of course be in a loss of that environment. And of course you have to at one point leave your job or leave your study so that you can return back to your original habitat. So the change in the environment should get adapted. That is the basic criterion phenomenon when understanding something about the loss of habitat or loss of diversities. Degradation also takes place over here. That means there is a complete loss of factors of the environmental systems. So we can say that maybe the climatic changes have taken place, maybe there is a complete loss in the soil systems, etc., etc. So due to which the complete loss of the habitat takes place. So one species get completely lost over there. So same took place with the dinosaurs. There was a complete change in the earth atmosphere, due to which some claim that there was a change in the earth atmosphere due to which the dinosaurs could not attempt to survive over there, and some do claim that the asteroids might have hit the earth, because of which the temperature of the earth had risen to such a level that the species, the largest species like dinosaurs, were unable to survive in that area. The second important point is land use intensification. Now what do you mean by land use intensification? Intensification itself word claims that a particular thing is used continuously, deliberately, without giving it a break. So that is called as intensification. So we usually use the word called as intensify. That means to use it in very excessive form. So similarly takes place. So if you are using a particular land area where a particular ecological system is being surviving, if you are continuously using that land area, now what happens? The minerals are being lost, maybe the water system is being lost, maybe the fertility of that particular land or soil is being lost, due to which Now the vegetation will not grow over there, or vegetation will not take place over there, and as a resultant of that, the organism which were surviving, maybe a herbivorous organism, which will go with the herbivorous organism only. So the herbivorous organism which was surviving on that particular land area for the food will of course get extinct or completely get rare in a form. And on in turn, what will be the result? Now the herbivores were depending upon the producers, due to which the land extension use, this complete herbivorous category has lost itself or has lost its identity, and now it will result into the food chain of carnivores. So carnivores will not get the herbivores because there is a complete loss of that species. So you can find, like I've given an example, if a particular crop plant is taken again and again, the soil fertility is being lost, and this loss of soil fertility, then what it results is you cannot grow that particular good quality of crop now in particular area where the loss of soil fertility takes place. What will happen? Of course, the herbivorous cannot survive over there, and the carnivorous which were surviving on the herbivorous will now get of course extinct. So this continues with the food chain. The third factor can be a climate change. So now the excess of heat or excess of drought, like I've said earlier also, excess of heat can cause a complete extent of species, and some of the natural factors like drought and heat are one of the important factors for making or for balancing the system. Now how do we call it as balancing of system? Because like I've said, if one is able to adapt the system, he or she will survive. So similar goes with the plants also, and similar goes with the animals also. So if the animals or the plants are able to survive in excess of heat and excess of drought condition, they will survive it. But if particular kind of species is not able to change themselves according to the climatic condition, they will of course get extinct. Excessive nutrient load also gives a particular extension of loss of diversity. So when the food factor comes, that means a load is there on the herbivorous species for providing food to the organism which is maybe primary in form or secondary in form or tertiary in form. So it depends upon what kind of food load is there on a particular area. If this food load gets in excess amount, what happens? The excess amount of food load means the species which are herbivorous. For example, let's consider, like we have seen, if the deer gets extinct, that means a food production will be more of the herbivores producers, okay, a particular crop plant. But consider in an opposite form now. If the species of the deer, which is an herbivorous animal, that means a green eater animal, will of course will be continuously grazing on a particular crop plant. Now what happens when they continuously graze on a particular crop plant? The crop plant gets completely trying to extend because there is a continuous grazing process. The grazing process does not stop, and this will cause an excessive nutrient load on that particular producer. So of course in turn what will happen? The crop will now take time to grow, either one case, or the second case might be the crop will completely get extinct from that particular region area because it is completely grazed, it is completely taken in by the deer. And now in turn what will happen? The deer will not have now the food for consuming, that means that particular crop plant. It will be called as an excessive nutrient load. Of course, this is one of the major factor, that is pollution, and we had discussed something major about these pollution factors. That means different kinds of pollution, what is being produced as naturally or maybe you can say by human made pollutions, can cause a factor or can cause a loss rate in the food production and loss in the biodiversities. Overexploitation and unstable use during the war condition have created a disturbing systems, especially when we talk something about a war system with regards to the human. Now you can't say that this is something related to the humans only, because this can be something related to the species which are surviving there with the human conditions also. So these can be somewhere related to a direct exploitation and of the warfare conditions or warfare like conditions. Okay, so basically it is being considered that overexploitation and warfare have caused more than 25% of natural resources to be lost from the planet system. Now how are these resources being lost from the planet system? Is because of the disruption of the livelihood, maybe the institutions or contributions, or over exploitation, which intensifies on the basis of economic also. So what we do, we completely get lost in our own economic production and leading to a decline of population, a particular population. For example, we usually have a good production of that means good use of the chandan. So that is one of the plant, or let's go with the teak plant. So we have a good production of it, and what we do, instead of consuming it at a very moderate rate, we usually consider that this is meant for the economic production, and this causes a complete loss of one ecosystem. That means you cut down all the plants again and again, and what we find then is the complete loss of the ecosystem. That means a teak plant ecosystem will completely get lost because of the cutting. The next and less considered is the invasive alien species. Now basically invasive alien species means a new kind of well developed, maybe herbivorous animals develop themselves. That means they genetically rare themselves, they genetically get naturally genetic changes takes place in these organisms. For example, grasshoppers. So grasshoppers basically feed on the plant, that is a fact. But when this grasshopper comes in and large amount of colony, that means it is a kind of armed conflict which is taking place on the crop plant. So there is a huge amount of grasshoppers when coming in a huge form of a colony. It is like a invasive alien species coming on one particular kind of organism, and the complete crop plant is being destroyed. So these kind of examples you can find in daily news also, that one particular crop plant, for example, let's go for a maize or maybe corn or maybe jawar, the crop plantation is completely lost. Why? Because a complete organism of insects which were feeding on that crop plant came like an army. That means they came in a great force in a huge number and they completely destroyed the crop plant. So they did not stop at one place. Hence it is called as an alien species, invasive alien species, because they continuously destroy a complete feed on a crop plant at one place and then they move on for the same crop at another place. So this gets continuously in a chained form, and because of which there is a complete loss of one crop plant from that particular area. So that can be a regional form also, but this is one of the, like we said or discussed, as one of the major factors for a food chain. So now the food chain will completely get disturbed because of this single alien species, and of course it will be something of with regards to an replacing order. So we are trying, that means the science is being trying to overcome these loss and degradations, and these loss and degradations will be of course overcome by few of the scientific method and mechanical method which are important to study. But it is one of the major priority of the human, especially when regards to exploitation is being considered, that the natural diversities or natural biodiversities should be controlled. For example, we have discussed something about the CBD. So CBD is one such factor which is trying to control these loss of diversities or biodiversities. So I hope you people have understood the very basic and major idea of loss of diversities. So just for a quick revision, we have today studied about the loss of biodiversity. What we have understood about what do you mean by the loss of diversities or biodiversities. That means it is an extension of one species. Now this species can be from the macro to the macro form, micro form also, huge forms also. And these are something about the loss rate also. We were talking about the loss rate, and when we are talking about the loss rate, we had discussed about how much estimated background is being provided to us. We had also discussed something about the major factors of loss, and in these factors we have come forward with some major issues which are about 7 to 8 issues which gives us the idea that there can be more than these factors. That means even though we consider some factors to be minor in rate, these factors, even though assumed to be minor, can be major if not looked forward at a proper time. I hope you people have understood this lecture. Till the next lecture, see you.